Welcome to the Torchlight Network. This is Dave Horwedel. The Torchlight Network is doing a series of interviews on business leaders and other professionals to find out what they are doing to successfully cope with the COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting governmental regulations. On today's show, we have Jim Ingraffia. Jim is a clay-hosted geologist specializing in lithium. And we're going to find out some more about this from Jim. So Jim, how is the co doing in this field, and how does COVID-19 affect you, or what's going on?
Oh, well, hi, David.
Hi.
So yeah, I'm a lithium geologist, specialized in clay-hosted lithium, and how COVID has really affected our industry. Mines have kept working. There's still people in the field. There's still people in the office, although a lot of the work has gone remote lately, as we're all here on Zoom and we're all speaking on FaceTime and these things. So that's definitely become an integral part of the structure of mining these days. And as far as consultation goes, all the business that I do, all the services that I provide in lithium and consultation from a geological perspective can all be handled remotely. So really it's that step from in the office and paperwork to a more digital format where everything can just be safe on a hard drive, and we can speak like this, proper social distancing, and it also allows the mobility of working remotely, which seems to be gaining traction these days. So this way maybe we can hold some good talent. So that's how it's
very good. Now, it sounds like in Lithium Aero LLC, your company is sort of positioned into the new, or maybe it's not a new industry, but you're positioned for a lot of expansion, especially as we move into the Green New Deal, whether it comes now with Biden or in 10, 20, 30 years as the petroleum supplies run out. So tell me a little bit about the future of lithium and what your company has to do with that.
All right, well, in the next 15 years, we're going to see a complete overhaul of the transportation sector. Especially right now, Tesla's spearheading that, but you have other automakers such as Volkswagen and BMW, entire nations such as Germany, Norway, France, that are going to go completely electric as far as all of their vehicle manufacturing goes past 2020, 2030, 2025, even 2035. In that 10-year range to even 2045, we'll even start to see adoption by states here in the nation that will be completely electric. So we're definitely going to see a mass transit over to electrification of our transportation, and that necessitates energy storage, because if you're not burning fuel, you have electricity running it, and that requires a battery because it's mobile. And also, if you start to see industrialization of solar panel development on an industrial scale such as power an entire city, they're going to need to put that electricity somewhere because the sun doesn't shine at night. And this is where batteries come in. And we've really gone over to lithium ion batteries, is like the tried and true mainstream latest battery technology. And people say lithium, what does that matter? Why not any other battery? Mainly because lithium ion batteries have the highest energy density per unit. So the element lithium itself is the key ingredient because it's the highest charge to weight ratio of all the elements on the periodic table, thus making the batteries lighter. In fact, without a lithium ion battery, we wouldn't even be able to have electric automotives that can go excess of 200 miles. It's just too heavy. The physics don't work out. There are other elements such as vanadium, which could be rechargeable, but vanadium is so far down the periodic table, it's just so much heavier, where lithium is literally the third element and the first metal. So it's kind of a necessity in these batteries. But where do I fit in, and how does Lithium Aero LLC help with that? Well, up until 2012, no one had really studied lithium. Sure, it was being mined in a few places around the world, some in South America. There's one production area in Nevada is still the only producing lithium in the United States. And down in Clayton Valley, you have some spodumene coming down, being exported out of Australia. China has definitely invested a lot of money into different lithium mines worldwide. So we're starting to see some growth, but really not since, only since 2012 have we really started to see growth in that. So to answer these questions, how does lithium appear, and how can we find more of it? How does the element behave such that we can find it in earthen settings and we can extract it, or we can locate it, or even just detail the deposit such that we can sustainably gather the resources. This is where I come in, and my specialty is to help people be more efficient in that process.
And how many people are there on planet Earth who, you know, at your level, at your sort of level, how many are we talking about?
Broadly speaking, as like dedicated lithium geologists, not many. No more than 20.
A few hundred, 1,000?
No more than 20, 30 worldwide.
Okay, so it's a very much, and so your firm, as I understand it, is right now is consulting with mining firms and investors who are trying to move into are trying to, you know, get enough lithium mined so that they can produce the electric cars of the future. Because right now what are we looking at? 100x times the amount of lithium we're going to need to have if we do this, or is it even more?
There's not enough lithium supply to meet the demand in the next 7 years. And that's because substantial projects that would have seen development in the last 5 years have not, because the majors are producing lithium, and it takes 10 years to get a mine started. And that's if everything goes correctly. It literally takes 10 years to get a mine going. So little junior mining companies popped up. They might have found some lithium here or there, nothing like really to write home about, but enough. But they haven't received investment. So those mines haven't come online. So as we now move into mass manufacturing of batteries, there seems to be a disconnect between the manufacturing sector and the mining sector, where they simply just expect the lithium to be there. And they don't really have a handle on where it's going to come from. And those mines that would have started up did not receive the investment dollars to do so. So hence we're going to see a supply and demand gap in the next 5 years as manufacturing demands more lithium and the lithium is just not there to be supplied. So this is the time that Lithium Arrow will come in and help these mines that are coming up be really well characterized, and also to gather investment from interested parties who would like to see a greener future. I mean, you know, we solved the problem of peak oil that everyone was talking about back in the late 90s with electrification of the transportation sector. We're not trying to bake ourselves with global warming here. We're trying to be the future, go electric. And that's what we're here to help with. And that's the state of the market right now.
All right, now let's suppose how big is this industry likely to be? Like how much, what do you think people are going to be investing? Let's say if we were to meet the way things are going, what are we looking at? Hundreds of millions, billions, tens of billions of dollars to be invested in the lithium mining to meet the demand? What do you think?
Well, Lithium Arrow's been and I can't really describe too much of these, but definitely we're talking companies' market caps well over billions, in the tens of billions. I've already started to look into this. Benchmark Mineral Intelligence puts out continual reports on critical minerals, including lithium. They'll be able to give you specific numbers. But as for the lithium market, we're take this one with a grain of salt, but from the latest information I've read and been exposed to in my industry, we're talking about a $3 trillion market. Yeah, it's very big. And it's just gaining traction right now, especially in the last 4 or 5 years. We can kind of look at Lithium Nevada Corporation as more or less an indicator of where the market stands right now. And as we've seen its development over the last 4 years, and we see it's going to go online by 2027, perhaps sooner, we can kind of see what the progression of lithium worldwide is looked at. It looks like, think of it as a pedagogy, or more or less like a sample that it's a publicly traded company, so everybody could look at it. And that's Lithium Americas Corporation, and they're excellent, really good people, great business ethics, a really good company. And I highly recommend people to check them out. They're good and doing good work.
All right, we'll probably put a little note at the bottom of the video so they can check that out.
Yeah.
Now, so it sounds like, you correct me if I'm wrong, so you're one of 20 30 lithium geologists, of which a $3 trillion industry is going to be dependent on. Is that correct?
Yep. It's kind of heavy, it's kind of staggering to really think about. But yeah, those are the facts. We're here to help facilitate, to get the lithium to the manufacturing sector so we can all have batteries and we can be a part of the green new future. That's what Lithium Arrow is here to do.
Well, I agree with that. I'm also a tax professional, and I've been doing the math in my head. And just when you need help on your taxes, just be sure to call me. I'll take care of all those minor matters for you. So no
problem, David. You got it. I wouldn't do tax business with anybody else other than Torchlight. You guys are excellent. I really appreciate being here to talk with you too.
Well, I appreciate talking with you. I'm actually absolutely I'm actually interested in this. When I was 13 years old, I made a solar battery. I think it had some lithium in it.
Hey.
I got a little science project,
Fantastic.
And then I have, it's fascinating, all this stuff that's going on. Yes?
Certainly. Yeah, I can't really describe how exciting it is to really be a part of the field, to really be jazzed up. The interesting part is being a scientist first and then a business person. I'm definitely a specialist as far as geologically speaking. I've been with the Geological Survey and have a lot of time into it, but also being part of the business aspect of it too. But really putting it together and really getting into the science of it. It's really exciting to know that what we're working with, the soil, the earth that we're working with, and in it is this special substance that's really just going to change the world. It's really empowering, and it feels like every millennial. I really hate this term. It's like, oh, change the world. No, it's actually kind of satisfying to be a part not only of people in this peer group, but to be a part of this greater industry where everybody believes it. And everybody is here to make a change. Everybody is here to make a difference and really bring the world forward and bring civilization forward into the future. And that's the real goal first. And it's important to take in more money than what goes out, period. Otherwise, this wouldn't happen. The business would be unsustainable. Therefore, the work couldn't be done. But really getting forward to having this no carbon emission transportation sector, so we can all breathe healthy air. I mean, look at Beijing; it's incredibly smoggy. And anyone who's living in California or Nevada, Western United States in general, they've seen smoke. It looks like what is that movie? Blade Runner, back with Harrison Ford. It's very smoggy, and that's kind of a glimpse of what the future is going to look like unless we do something now. And we really have about this century to solve the problem of generation, production, consumption, and storage of renewable energy. So we got to get started on it now. And it's really, it's a good, how should I say, it adds meaning to really be a part of this. So it's really, life is great. I love what I do. It's fantastic. I wouldn't change it. Neither would my team.
Well, I agree with what you're saying. There's also another interesting comment I want to make, because people look at business and management, and what management is supposed to be doing, what administration is supposed to do, is somebody has a dream, somebody has an idea, and they figure out how to make it work, not just scientifically, but, what do we have to do? How do we have to raise the capital? How do we make it profitable so that we can do the next step and the next step and the next step? And, how do we convince people that, that this is a worthwhile product, and, all these different things. And you see this whole, a lot of unscientific things are going around in our current society, it just drives you crazy sometimes. Now I'm a mathematician. I was trained as a scientist. I was actually next to Harvey Mudd. I don't know if you've heard of Harvey Mudd. It's this tiny engineering school, but I did classes at Harvey Mudd. There's all this engineering emphasis is, I decided I like mathematics better, I admit it. But the fact of the matter of it is, if we can make this thing work and make it, because, we're not going to be 1,000 years from now.
Yeah.
we're not going to be mining oil.
No, there won't be any.
Yeah.
There won't be any.
You know, and if the civilization falls right now, there's an excellent possibility it wouldn't be easy to raise again, because guess what? You're not going to find oil bubbling through the surface, you know? So it's important that we do a good job in our technology and stuff. And I think you're in the, you know, it's interesting talking to you. I think
I'm here in nature. I'm a very nature-oriented guy, and there's this bug that's been buzzing around here. Don't mind me if I wave my hands like, what's this fly doing here? Please carry on. Nature guy, scientist, business, in nature at home. So please continue.
Okay. So we have this whole managerial situation we have to have. And I understand you're a scientist, but you set up your limited liability company, Lithium Aero LLC.
Yes.
And the purpose is to kind of help get this technology properly managed, get the investors in, help them out, give them correctly advice, so this technology can be made available. And who knows? Maybe we could have a better planet. And of course, you're going to have to pay taxes, so I'll get my cut.
Exactly. We'll do it faster, better, and less expensive than any competition.
Excellent. Well, very good. Now, is there anything else you would like to say about lithium, the future of lithium, your company, or anything else before we end off the interview?
Stay curious. And to folks, you know, kind of on the fence out there who are like, lithium, kind of maybe don't really understand, we're here. We're easy to talk to. Geology itself is kind of a niche subject, but we're definitely able to help others get up to speed with how the industry goes. So feel free to reach out anytime. Email will be posted, as well as any other contact information I like to use. Give us a call, give us an email. We'll be there for you. Absolutely. So we're really looking forward to hearing from you from the world, and you know, to do business, make lithium, make batteries, make money. I think that'll be a good future. So I think we'll close with that.
I think it would be too. And also, I think if someone here humorous, because consider if somebody had been, you know, interviewing Bill Gates when he was setting up Microsoft, I don't know if his financial prospects would have sounded as good as yours at this moment in time. You follow me? I mean, you have this unbelievable potential in the field. So we'll see what happens with you. Well, I know your purpose is not to make money, but it's to help make a difference. And I really appreciate that. And I'm glad to be interviewing here on the Torchlight Network. Hopefully, we're going to be making a better world.
Making a better world. And some money, too. All right. You can't say not interested in making money, because you have to keep the money.
It won't work.
Right. We'll work.
I'll tell you something very interesting, because there's socialists and conservatives, conservatism, whatever. My main problem with socialism is that it's very, very, makes a lot of sense. People should share and all this stuff. But when they apply it, what happens is, you know, the people who work really hard don't get anything more, so they don't work. I have a philosophy. When you reward production and penalize non-production, you get production. So let's have a very productive, happy lithium. Let's have cars running around on electrical power. I mean, I'm sitting there. I've been riding an Uber sometimes, and I have these guys picking up in a car, and it makes 200 miles equivalency per gallon, and they're in a car that costs them $10,000. I'm going, this is pretty impressive. Yeah. Lord knows what it's going to be like in about once we really get it down. Anyway,
we can go on. But yeah, it's great interview. Happy to be here. Proud. Really looking forward to this. Really excited. This is really fun.
I'm really excited too. You have a great day.
You too. See you.